Okay, so we welcome everybody to our Poets Near and Afar. We're looking very much forward to tonight. Um, we have Karen Scott, who is coming to us from Columbus, Ohio, which happens to be the city that my daughter lives in. And we have Taku with us, and Taku is joining us from Duke University, but he is from afar beyond that. We'll let him say that as he goes. If you are not on our email list, please, and you would like to be, please throw your name in the chat. We don't sell it, we don't rent it. You know, you'll just get poetry information as we go forward. And before I forget, on May 2nd, we will have our next, and Ann Cohen and Amber Crotry will be our two poets, one from New York and one from New Hampshire. So without any further ado, our guest from Ohio, Karen Scott, it's your floor.
Okay, I'm going to jump right into it. Start out with a little haiku. It's called Springtime. Birds sing, cats watch. Spring is evident everywhere. Imminent slaughter. And the next poem is called Notice Me. I like loud, brassy birds, the rusty pump call of blue jay, the mad woman laugh of robin, the gronk and drumming of woodpecker, trill of red-winged blackbird at nearby pond, all say, hear me. I like overwhelmingly fragrant flowers, that the perfume of honeysuckle vines, panicles of lilac scenting the evening air, the heavy, humid aroma of magnolias, cloying sweetness of hyacinth and Easter lilies that grab you by the nose and say, I am here. My substantial size, the color of my skin, my natural hair, my jewelry, the earrings, bracelets, rings, necklaces that I feel naked without, my Yellow Springs t-shirts begging to be read, my ever-present smile, all shout, look at me, while my true inner self whimpers, don't. The next one is called Inheritance. My father loved to work with his hands. From him, I learned to grow things, from houseplants to vegetables, to forage for nuts and berries, fish for bluegill and bass, to camp and be at home in nature, how to reuse, recycle, jerry-rig, and repair. From my mother, the teacher, I learned to read, enjoy learning, and prize curiosity. My mother was the first performance poet I knew. She memorized Browning's How Do I Love Thee, Kipling's If, and Dunbar's In the Camp, and would spit them at a moment's notice. And I, mixed product of their nurture, dabble in arts, know birds by their song and silhouette, fight back the undergrowth in my yard, and write poems I do not memorize. Okay, this next one is called Flaunting Superstitions. Are you superstitious? Think carefully before you answer. Woke up this morning with a lie bump. I don't remember lying, but I did accidentally nip my tongue the other day. I may not get upset when I break a mirror or get anxious waiting for my 7 years bad luck to begin. When someone famous dies, I keep expecting 2 more to follow. Last year, I lost count. Folks were dying every day. I'm happy I have a cat to warn me of ghosts and such, but he also handles any bugs and mice that get in the house. I don't put my poor dog out in a thunderstorm. He's an Aussie with no tail to attract lightning. I've always thrown spilled salt over my left shoulder and taught my daughter to do it too. They say a spider's web in the doorway is good luck, but not when you forget it's there and walk right into it. We live in a world where it doesn't hurt to be careful, said an anthropology professor. Sensible is relative. I bet you say bless you when someone sneezes, right? I do too. It's only polite. Mama always said to never tell a bad dream before breakfast or it will come true. Even though I suspect that was Mama's way of making a little time before she had to listen to my childhood ramblings in the morning. It's the only superstition that I'm deliberate about keeping. I just can't take the chance. Okay. This one's from a prompt. The prompt was to select sounds or smells and then introduce your neighborhood to someone who doesn't know it. So this is called Sounds Like My Neighborhood. If you step outside in the moonlight, the first thing you notice is the lack of sounds. Take a seat on the front stoop and wait a minute. Hear the buzz and thump of June bugs on the screen. One of the neighborhood teens walks by, earbuds in, rapping quietly to himself. The ebb and flow of traffic on James Road as the lights change and the distant clank of each car running over a steel plate. A car races by on Maryland Avenue, late for who knows what, entirely too fast for this neighborhood, where school days find children and parents walking by on their way to and from Broadley Elementary. Closer by, you hear the blue jays as they noisily flash in and out of the maple tree. On an Army Reserve weekend, the whoop whoop of helicopters at the edge of the Defense Center, and every Wednesday at noon, the tornado sirens, so close, so loud, you can hear the all clear afterward. I was feeling in a slightly depressed mood today, so I kind of weeded out my most depressing poems, and I have plenty of those, but I'm going to try and keep it at a nice level. But here we go, dark. This one is called Monsters. I've learned that the monsters aren't always under the bed, and that's from Eric Church in his song, Monsters. The headline, 6-year-old found dead after disappearing from the front yard, validates my fears, justifies years of not allowing my daughter to play in our front yard or roam the neighborhood, only letting her play in the backyard if the dog or I were out there. My fears fueled by the statistic that every 40 seconds, a child goes missing somewhere in the US. I used to read King and Kuntz, revel in horror and suspense, but the day I became a mother, that came to an end. The first day I took my infant to a festival, I wondered later that night, how many psychopaths have I exposed her to today? A true crime aficionado, I know bright lights attract monsters more than porch lights attract moths. Monsters do not understand the light, seek out the pure and innocent to maim, defile, destroy. And my daughter is a very bright light. Souls gravitate toward her like the dead gravitated to the little girl in Poltergeist. There's a proverb that says to be a mother is to have your heart forever walk around outside your body. We want to protect them from everything, but can't really protect them from anything at any age. No matter how old they get, a monster is waiting. This one is called Awakening. In that moment before full consciousness, my mind allows me to believe I could call out a question and my mother would answer from the other room, or a yell to my daughter upstairs might get a response in return. The TV, tired of watching me sleep, has turned itself off. Maybe the quiet is what pulls me toward consciousness. The cat burbles a query as he stands on my hip, stretches, pats my face with his soft paw. My mind, now fully awake, reminds me that my mother resides in a facility on lockdown 3 miles east. Even if we did live together, she would not be able to answer my call to her. My daughter is not upstairs, asleep after playing video games all night. She lives an hour away in a grown-up life of her own. I roll over slightly, glance at the clock, my constant source of grounding. I decide it's not too early for the dog to go out, whether he wants to or not. That was like my first pandemic poem, and that's about the only pandemic poem I really wrote. I got asked to write a poem for the Day of the Dead, and I made this one about food. This is Feast of the Dead. If I get a recipe from you, I will title it with your name and then the name of the dish, like Nini's mother's chicken and rice dish, or Cousin Pam's mock chow, or Donna Geber-Christo's freeway pizza. An homage to the person who gave me the recipe and a way to bring them to mind each time I cook it. If I could have all my lost back for a feast, the house would be filled. Such smells, such taste, such love, like soul food without the drama. My husband would be at the stove frying huge pieces of the 41-inch walleye caught with his own hands, or stirring a big stock pot of creamy seafood chowder, his Rhode Island roots slightly out of place with all the Appalachians and transplanted Ohioans around. My mother would be reminding me to take the greens through 7 waters, or chiding me for not making the crust of the blackberry and peach cobblers from scratch. She and my Granny Blanche would be shaping the rolls, and I would be on hand when the first batch came out of the oven, steaming hot and slathered with butter. My granddaddy's sand tort pound cake would be scenting the air as it cooled next to my mother's white chocolate cake. My father would be on the porch churning homemade ice cream while getting to know his grandchildren that he never got to meet, the 3 of them born after his departure. He would be grinning from ear to ear, that delighted smile he passed on to me. Many cultures leave food at gravesides for the departed. Many times, all the legacy we have to pass on is just that, memories and recipes. May they both be sweet. And I hope you all had something to eat so that you won't get hungry, because the next one's about food too. Kitchen fiasco. Hummingbird cake. 3 layers of deliciousness, moist and redolent with pineapple, bananas, and spice, layered with cream cheese frosting and pecans. I believe in people having specialties, recipes they're known for, as in, what are you bringing to the potluck, Karen? I refuse to learn to make the white chocolate cake because that was my mother's specialty. Hummingbird cake was mine. I will never know what possessed her to frost my hummingbird cake before the layers were thoroughly cooled. The top layer split, a glacier of frosting and cake calving, threatening to topple off the plate. Some things are so tasty, it doesn't matter how they look. Thankfully, hummingbird cake is one of those. Spackling the crack with the generous frosting saved the cake and the day. But Mom, from now on, please keep your fingers out of my dish. Let's see. All right, this one was also written from a prompt. Ruth Awad did a workshop several years ago, and she gave us like 6 options, and she tried to steer us away from this option because she thought it was too difficult. And of course, I always leap to a challenge. So it was to write a poem about a color, and the catch is you cannot use any words for colors in the poem. Rely on descriptions to convey the color you choose, and make sure the reader is aware of why this color is important to the speaker of the poem. So this is called The Color Of. I always wanted eyes the color of Irish kilts and tartans, the hue of leaves in early spring, marking the path of an errant breeze with varied shades and intensities. In the time of Watergate and Jane Fonda in Vietnam, I asked if my first contacts would make my wish come true. My optometrist smiled. explained that whatever color lenses I put on my eyes, they would remain the color of iced tea. I learned to tolerate the ordinary with only an occasional longing for eyes, the color of the foliage of Leesburg Plantation's 100-year-old willow, or the bamboo forest where shadows conceal the tiger's blazing glare, of katydids and praying mantises at my front door, reflected in the eyes of the marmalade cat purring in my lap. Okay, let's see. Speaking of challenges, a lot of people picked up a pandemic habit, and I decided that I would teach myself a language because it's supposed to help stave off Alzheimer's, which my mother had, my grandfather and my grandmother, my mother's parents. So I'm kind of looking down that double barrel of the possibility of Alzheimer's. So I try everything to keep that away. So what I did for my pandemic hobby was to start teaching myself a different language. And since I had Latin in high school and college, I didn't want a Romance language. So I decided to teach myself Scottish Gaelic. So this poem is Hami Dulik, which is Scots Gaelic for I'm sorry. I'm sorry you never got that motorcycle, the one I told you that you couldn't get until we had a child, that you were not going to leave me alone with no part of you to cherish. You snorted and said that was pretty heartless, that I just told you that you could wrap your motorcycle around a tree as long as I had a child of yours to love. Who knew you wouldn't see her 4th birthday? I'm sorry I never got to see you in a kilt. I do love men in kilts. I wish I could have seen you practicing maneuvers with a claymore or standing at attention in dress kilt and jacket, treasures in your sporran. I'm sorry we never made it to Rhode Island, your birthplace, or met the relatives living there, that you never got to take me for a walk on the beach at sunrise or gather quahogs to share while we watched the waves advance and retreat. I'm sorry we never made it back to Baltimore to visit our old haunts, or to New Orleans, a city we'd both visited but did not get to explore together. I'm sorry you did not get to see our child grow up, to enjoy the proud parenting moments, to see the person she has become. I'm sorry that you're not here now, that we were denied the privilege of growing old together. Would we still be in love, or would we be living separate lives after amicably drifting apart? I'm sorry we never got to find out. Okay, and looking at my timer, this is the 2-minute poem warning. This one is called Goodbyes. My mother had a psychic gift. She always knew things before she should. Information came to her in dreams. People visited her too. After her favorite uncle passed, he came to her, sat on the bed, told her he was fine, for her not to worry about him. Whenever I think to call her, she would call me first because I've always been a better sender than receiver. She kept me in line as a teen because I knew she would know if I did something wrong without even asking me. The love between me, my Thomas and me was strong, so strong that I expected to feel his presence even after death. I was truly shocked that I could not. In the only visitation I've had from him, I walked downstairs to find him in the moonlit kitchen, bare-chested as is his wont. I rushed to him, ran my hands over his face and beard, and burst into tears. He enfolded me in his arms, murmured, "I know, babe," and held me while I cried. It was so real as the tears on my face when I awoke. And this is the last poem. And I didn't want to leave you in that downer spot. So this one's a little more uplifting. I think my friends are tiring of poems I write of my undying love for my lost soulmate. Some have even suggested it's time for me to start dating again. I'll admit I would love another taste of that addictive drug, the thrill of infatuation, the rush of emotions a new love brings. But I'm older now, satisfied with my life, not looking to alter it to accommodate another. Curiosity, though, led me to set up a free profile on Our Time, which segued to Black People Meet. I had barely hit submit before I felt like a bucket of chum on a shark fishing boat off Barrier Reef. You have 293 views. You have 8 matches. The emails flooded my inbox. I know you shouldn't judge books by their covers, but great googly moogly, has no one told any of these people how to take selfies or how to choose photos and words that present you at your best? The parade of probable Trump supporters, zealots, potential Unabombers, recent parolees, possible serial rapists, from ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties, good Lord, preserve us. This is me, having dipped my toe in the dating ocean, striding back up the beach, snatching up my towel mid-stride, and peeling rubber in the parking lot. Maybe I'm not ready for this after all. And thank you for listening to me.
Woo! Absolutely wonderful, Karen. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
That was great. That was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
That one poem, that's the second time I've heard that poem. That poem gets to me every single time. But wonderful, and thank you for ending on such a funny, happy note. That's great. All right. So I will tell everybody again, if you have joined us since, if you do not want to be part of the open mic, then please put that in the chat. Okay. So right now, without any further ado, joining us from I guess from North Carolina right now, Taku, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. Being here, it means we are all friends. So I'm very happy to have friends like you. So my name is Taku, famously known as Chikepe the poet. I love poetry. I've been writing poetry for 16 years, and I simply love poetry, and I love poets so much. So I've got a book. It's called Mental Gymnastics. It's on Amazon. Please familiarize yourself with my book. My second book is being cooked right now. If you're interested in publishing my third and fifth books, they are ready. Please see yourself through me. Thank you so much. So I am going to read my latest poem as a way just to show which kind of poetry I sometimes write. Then I'm going to read poems. I wrote poetry, a book. I would say I wrote a book in the Lent period, when it started to when it ended. So I was spiritual enough to write something. So I'm going to read those poems from that book in 20 minutes or less than 20 minutes. Then I'll be done. Karen, blessings. I truly love your work, and I'm going to declare myself your friend from today and onwards. All right. My first poem is entitled A Gunfight with the Devil. Before sleeping yesterday, I declared war. I told the devil that he has nothing to do with me, and I don't have anything to do with him. If he is not satisfied with that, I told him to go and kill himself. And then I slept. In my dreams, he then came like an angry woman full of different types of guns. And then he started shooting everyone and everything. Lucky enough, no one was injured in this war. And she kept on advancing and shooting everything. For me, I had run away and I was watching everything from behind my friends who had sworn themselves to protect me from this disaster. Instantly, the devil was now walking towards me. And then I realized that if I don't come out, he was going to start shooting everyone and everything around me. So I decided to come out. I had a small pistol in my hands, but determined to kill the devil. We started shooting at each other aggressively and passionately. The bullets were flying in the air. And like we were in Matrix and Matrix Resurrection, we were sidelining these bullets, moving to the side as the bullets passed through our ears, shoulders, and legs. It was a fierce fight, but we didn't stop. He was changing gun after gun, and I didn't stop with my pistol as I continued coming on hot on him. I wasn't afraid. I was confident that none of his bullets were going to touch me. And I was also confident that one of the bullets from my friends was going to blast him apart. The fight didn't stop. I continued and continued fighting against this devil, and then I woke up. Indeed, my prayer was answered with a retaliation. But the good news is the devil is a loser and he will always be a loser. Thank you. Then we go to the book. This is the book. My second poem is entitled Church. In the church is where we find life. Where exactly in the church? In which times of the church? Which church exactly? And what is a church? Thank you. My other poem is entitled God Made Me Lovely. There is nothing wrong with my beauty. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. As a matter of fact, I am very beautiful, loving, and caring. That is the reason why I came to sit with you that day. But you are so rough, girl. You are full of yourself. You enjoy making fools out of people. You move around planting darkness, hatred, jealousy, evil thoughts, and misery. But I have got good news for you. These will not grow in me. I will recycle them to love and continue to love more, especially those who love me more, because all they know is God made me lovely. I am a light. You are just not my candle. Thank you. The other poem is entitled, Would We Survive in Another Life? First of all, I want to say, I am sorry. I am sorry for being so shallow and for being so negative and for being so short-sighted. Today, I've learned that a sense of appreciation will never kill you, will never kill me, and will never kill us. We don't appreciate each other. We don't love each other, and we don't appreciate ourselves. If that is the case, then we have got a case to fight for, a case to win, a briefcase to carry forward, a world to build, and a world to live in. I have a dream. Do you have a dream? Let us dream. One day we will wake up all happy and smiling. Will we continue to be Christians? Are you a Christian? What makes us being Christians? What makes us Christians? Thank you. The other poem is called She is a Warrior in a Dark Land. She says her passions cloud her judgments. She gets a way to twist people around her and even twist herself. But she never changes. She believes in love. She can't wait to be in love. But she jumps around too much, like she walks on a jumping castle the whole day. She wants to give one man her heart one day, but she moves around breaking her heart into pieces as if she wants to give him veins of her miserable heart one day. Before she is loved, she tries to love herself, but she simply can't handle herself, as if she loves herself so much, but at the same time, there is a bowl of misery that eats her from within. Will this life swallow her to nothingness? This life shames her so much. Different characters and personalities she has crowned. But guess what? She will simply not give up. Another poem is called A Television Thing. Do not look for things that do not belong to you. It is called practicing to steal. When you see it, leave it there. It is not yours, and it does not belong to you. Why call others to see the drama? Am I your comedy? Am I your reason to laugh? You shall laugh. Call others to laugh and try to gather in your numbers, only to be ashamed. What is not yours is not yours. Move on. Whether we are on or off, you are not the one who connected us to the wall. The other one is called Put Me Down. Put me down. Don't lift me up when you are planning to let me go. Put me down. Put me down when you are planning to brutalize me. Put me down. Put me down when your heart is dark and evil. Put me down. Put me down when you want to appear good, yet you are busy chasing away good. Put me down when you have a fake smile and crocodile tears. Put me down. Don't lift me up again. Put me down when you can't score on my behalf, or when you don't have solutions for my life. Put me down when you want to lift me up, swing me around, and throw me up into the sky, only to let me fall down on my own and in your absence. Put me down right now. The other one is called selfology. Self, then ology. I wanted to settle for less, but my soul refused. So I am now fighting with my soul. I wanted to settle for less, but my spirit refused. So I am now left speechless and actionless, because I am afraid of my spirit. I tried to collaborate with my soul against my spirit, and she told me to leave her alone. I tried again to collaborate with my soul against my spirit, and she simply quietly ran away and left me alone and all naked in truth. Right now, I am only left alone before my spirit, as we are now looking at each other with my spirit. He hasn't said any word as yet, and I am all rubbing my hands together, thinking what to say next. My heart beating fast and my head taking a knee. If you were me, what would you do? What would you say? In a whisper, I said, I wish to know myself and what it means to be me. I looked at him hesitantly, and he simply smiled uniquely, as if I knew what it meant. Another poem is called Knowledge Musona. Knowledge Musona is a name for Zimbabwean well-known soccer star who plays in Europe. So I just liked the name Knowledge Musona. It rhymes, I think, in my native language. Knowledge Musona. Inside me, I saw it all. You were thinking that you were seeing me, but I was seeing you all. Some of you smiled, some of you laughed, and some of you even imitated me, thinking that I was too far to notice it all. I was inside me. I saw you all. You think I don't know myself. You think I don't know me. You think I am the only one to know you and all of you. You got it all wrong. I know you all. I know you all, even better than you know yourselves. You act all lovingly in hypocrisy. Yet deep down your hearts reside ugliness, evilness, and weirdness. You thought I didn't know about this. You think I don't know about this. But guess what? I know it all, and I will simply not tell you, so as to match all those questions you are supposed to ask me, yet you choose not to ask me. That is fair. Continue not asking, and I will continue not telling. And this is our main difference. You don't know, and I know. I know it all. My second from last poem is entitled Undone. When you are the happiest, they will come to make you sad, just to see you being you and being in your everyday prison, where they want to see you through the bars every day. They don't want to know you, and they will make sure you will know what they have made out of you. You are not you. You are the other one that lives out of that box you live in. Your problems are artificial because they are man-made. Sit down and think deep. Who am I? Why am I me? And what is very important to me every day, every hour, and every minute? And start being you. Because it is not you, then you can't be another. If it's not you, then it can't be done. Undo yourself and start to do again. Everything one by one until and eventually that time when you know yourself. My last poem for today is entitled The Sojourner. Sojourner, in my language, we can translate it to Sorojena. Sorojena is when people grow old, their hair becomes white. So it's white hair, white-headed people. They've got a name in my culture. They're called Sorojena. So Sorojena, it rhymes with Sojourner. That's my last poem for today. I came to your church not to steal your people. I came to your church to hide away from these devils. Don't worry about your people. I will not steal them. As a matter of fact, that is the reason why I came to your church, because I admire the relationship between your church and its people. Please do not close your doors before me. My intentions are pure. Please do not turn your backs on me. My love is genuine. I came to your church not to steal your people, but I came to your church to be blessed with your love. Out there, the devils are waiting for me. They are breathing fire. They want to quickly swallow me. They know what I have done, what I am doing, and what I am going to do. They are not happy with me. They can't wait to destroy me. Please don't chase me away from your church. I did not come to steal your people, but I came here to rest, reflect, drink some water, and proceed with my journey. Thank you.
Oof, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Please, everybody, unmute yourself. And let's give a round of applause to Karen and to Taku for a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All
Stirs
right.
my blood.
How great was that?
It was great.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So,
could you answer Amber's question and put it in the chat? She wanted to know how to spell the white-haired people. The
Oh,
word.
okay. Oh, okay. Let me do that. Yeah. So Jenna, Soro Jenna. Let me write that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
No, I
Right.
loved it. I loved both of your, wow.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna move now to the open mic. Again, if you do not want to participate in the open mic, please throw that in the chat. And we're gonna start off with Bernardo. You're up, and Doreen, you're on deck.
Okay, that was quick. Wow. Let me grab my book.
There we go. Yeah, being up first on the open mic, I don't give you much heads up. Take your time.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Okay. Highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. Unwavering in that claim. I am proud to serve the Most High, but humility is my aim. I appreciate your appreciation, this fleeting fame of hands. But these words that I serve you, they are part of the master's plan. Blessed and highly favored. Does this mean I am favored more than that one or the next one or him or her? I do not really know for sure. I am not the one to say I know God loves me best. I don't compare my blessings. It is enough that I am blessed. Blessed and highly favored. What this means in my eyes is that I know that I know that I know that I know that I am favored by one on high. For the Lord, you see, is my shepherd, my refuge, my fortress, my rock. I am blessed down in the valley, and I am blessed on mountains top. Blessed and highly favored, my neighbors too I bless. It is for God alone to judge them. I view them as no less. I do not claim perfection or feign everything to know, but striving to draw nigh to God, and all of this I grow. Blessed and highly favored, I was chosen from the womb. By uplifting the Creator, my gifts shall make me room. Blessed and highly favored, I'm savoring the fruit that come when deeds grow forth from seeds with God's words at the root. Blessed and highly favored, angels hold me in their hands. Blessed and highly favored. I said blessed and highly favored. I said blessed and highly favored. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am.
All right. All right now.
And wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, Doreen, you're up, and Hiram, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Karen and Taku. What a beautiful evening, and so much spirituality here, appropriate for this time of year. I hope everybody's been having good holidays. This poem is called Waiting for the Miracle of World Peace. My fervent world peace prayer, now graying with me, lifts its tired head, pulls at my sleeve, tugs at my heart. Hope is such a stubborn child. I rope it in, reminded of its frailty. It laughs and runs through early grass, its golden strands dangling and within my reach. Imagine after all the loss and sorrow, hope turns my other cheek and I embrace a new tomorrow. Thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful, as always. Thank you. Hiram, you're up, and Marvin, you're on deck.
Great, thank you, Tony. And as everyone else has said, thanks to Karen and to Taku for that set of terrific featured poets. That was a wonderful set. And Tony, thank you for creating this space for us. This poem is written in homage to those who provide us with food, especially during the pandemic. The poem first appeared on the Poetry Ex Hunger website, and then in my newest collection, Mudda Jar. It's titled Bread in Hand. But even after all of this, farmers keep farming for every one of us. They bend the sun and raise the earth each day for us. They round each rough and tamp down these fears for each of us. Yes, after all of this, they're the hope of hope for us. And
Hear, hear.
even after all of this, the pickers, baggers, stackers, sorters, drivers, checkers, and grocery store sweepers too are here for us. Like bowls of life, they give us each our everyday and so renew a sense of trust in us. And even after all of this, and just as much, are those who volunteer to serve the soup, the ones who help and give and care on our behalf. Their hands and hearts shape our thanks. No matter what else happens, they are life itself for us. And yes, even after all of this, these days seem like fields to us, with shadows deep across the view, but with rows that glow there too. A shining green that grins wide and full, just like those who stand and wave with bread in hand for each of us through all of this. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Hiram. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Marvin, you're up, and Heather, you're on deck.
It's called The Corner of Nowhere. On the corner of nowhere, nothingness abounds. On the corner of emptiness, neither sights nor sounds. Where did everyone go? Why am I so alone? How could I reach someone without a voice or a phone? Is this the end of it all? Am I the only one still here? Where has the world gone? Without a shout or a tear? Am I lucky or am I damned? Should I be high or low? On this corner of nowhere, I don't really know. Oh God, are you still there in your home far above? Why has this thing happened? You're supposed to be love. Now what should I do? Stand here and cry? Hope for salvation? Look up to the sky? My family and friends have faded away. Is my being still living? Will I be okay? On the corner of nowhere, I fall to my knees. Though no words can I speak, my heart offers pleas to bring it all back. In the blink of an eye, I'll appreciate life till the day that I die.
Thank you. Thank you, Marvin, very much. Heather, you're up, and Judy, you're on deck.
I would like to thank Taku for making my year. Last year, when I was 77, I was a cover girl on the Sailor's Review and the interview. Boy, talk about an ego boost.
Yeah.
He does have poets from all over the world. It's a really interesting online magazine. So this is called Roadkill Reverie. I drive with intention toward a destination, though radio, conversation, daydreams distract. Often birds fly directly toward my windshield, but swerve up over reverse direction faster than my car to avoid a collision. Earthbound possums, skunks, squirrels, wandering cats move in 2 dimensions, more linear, just like me. A slight misjudgment of speed or brief look back to a noise or to check on offspring, and flattened by a vehicle, it's all over for them, and perhaps a subsequent scavenger. So many reminders to be more focused on this plane and life in my lane, or become bird-like, able to turn sharply away from instant death. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather, and welcome. We hope to see you again. That was wonderful. Thank you. Judy, you're up, and Diane Parks, you're on deck.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Taku. Thank you, open micers. How cool. In passing. Distracted while raking leaves, I notice how each leaf is different, how each one, though the same species, is unique and individualistic. I hold one up to the November sun, see red veins varicosed across a vibrant yellow, thin as parchment, another a stunning orange, another beige, crackling to brown with rents to let the light shine through. It dies in my hand. A rest break between shoveling driveway, walkway, and porch. I remove my right glove, catch a few falling flakes, admire them. 6 dendrites like ornate arms project from the center, symmetrical, finite in detail, crystal faceted miracles, each its own distinct pattern and shape. Not quite white, but translucent ice prisms. They melt in my palms. Still mourning the passing of summer, the loss of you in torrents of tears, I let go of your hand, endure these seasons of death, wonder at everyday marvels, each a study in tenuous fragility, each a singularity of nature, each displaying a personality like yet unlike their siblings, a distinct originality humans strive for, yet rarely attain. A leaf, a snowflake, a friend passing from this earthly realm to live in the palm of my hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you very much. All right, Diane, you're up, and Chip, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. And I just want to say to both Karen and Taku, so amazing, such powerful poetry this evening. Thank you. The title of this poem is Remnant Whispers, and it really is a poem that speaks of hope of America's bittered past. I'm hoping for a greater future in this poem, or from this poem. Remnant Whispers. What happens in the crook of our arms matters. We keep resowing the past. It can't be undone. Its crowded voices echo in our voices. The same unanswered night still dangles lifelessly from the tattered sleeve of remembrance. Each strand of our threaded bodies is the remnant of whispers from the past. The ancient umbilical cord still anchors our madness. These strings that swing in from the distance want us to let go, want us to heal the ulcers that lacerated the soul and its skin. We must offer something more than buckling words that always seem to unbuckle. We must lay hands on the dead and ask for forgiveness. Our bent bodies, a stitched dream from the needle's narrow light of grace, a vessel with the intention of mustard seeds will grow the sun's sweet yellows in our small but massive minds. What happens in the turning of our mind is crucial. It's a carved and a craved gesture in a wild field of untamed thoughts. We will light the broken scales, the deepened losses that swallow us, the uneven grass that greens the other side, the greed that drips a bittered past. We will return blind and deaf with the desperation to touch and smell everything we cannot see or hear.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. All right. I got lost in it. I was listening to it so much. All right, Chip, you're up, and Janet, you're on deck.
Hi, everyone, and wow, Karen and Taku, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And Tony, thank you for this. And Judy, thanks for inviting me. This is something I reworked. It's entitled, Recognize a Cry for Help. I'm just an average Joe, and I really don't know why I have to fight day and night just for the right to stay alive despite this hard-hitting recession, inflation, overwhelming debt, systemic racism, hate, debt, credit cards, COVID are all contributors to my oppression. Now school is out and I've learned my lesson. So tell me, can I repair my mistakes or do anything to ease my despair? I never imagined that I would ever be here, but I am, and I know I'm not alone. Many of us are already without a home, and I don't want the next one to be me. I'm really trying my best for it not to be, working harder for less pay. It's not easy, even though I tell myself not to worry. So I'm doing the work, and in my mind, I'm trying to keep focused on surviving and not on dying. I don't break any laws, and I'm courteous to my neighbor. I clean my own house, and each blade of grass is accounted for. I strive every single day to make things better for my family and my community. Now tell me, what can I do to save my home and preserve one dollop of dignity? All the time I tell myself, man, just do your best to try to climb out this mess. I try not to lose it. I try not to stress, but how can I not when my feet are on fire and water boiling hot? My God, I'm trying so very hard not to let the depression of this recession seep in. So my friends, I ask you, during this hard time, that you please check in with your friends and just to see how they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chip. Really appreciate that. Great.
Thank you.
Janet, you're up. Robert, you're on deck.
Hello. The name of this poem is Reflection. It's the first time I've ever read it. And I just to tell you the sound, the phonetic sound, yeah, that's God's name that was given to Moses in Genesis 3:14. And it's always translated as I am. So this poem is Reflection. Twinkling stars ignite waves of fire that explode into a tumultuous, joyful noise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Mother Earth awakens. Matter, bathed in Pele's cauldron, flares up, erupting into waves of baby Earth while roaring. Yeah, I am. Yeah. As seeds rise from watery oceans of fire, my heart swells, breathing air into newly forged matter and causing my breath to become song. I am, yeah, I am. Fire that reflects flame-drenched stars, that reflects Pele's dance, that reflects the passionate seed, echoes within my belly until I glow with waves of love that burst forth song to sing, I am, I am, I am. And then, riding a watery wave that gushes forth new life, my newborn erupts from my body, then twinkles, then cries tumultuous, joyful noise, yeah, yeah, wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Robert, you're up. Rick, you're on deck.
All right. This one is coming out in June in a publication called Thorny Locust, which is a print mag in Kansas City. And the title of it is Mrs. Grundy Sheds a Tear. I saw God this afternoon at the Travel Light Motel. You know, that flea bag down on South Broadway, rates by the hour, that one. She was checking in, room number 666, all decked out and not much of anything really, except flash and a guy with her, just a regular guy, could have been me, except for the $2,000 mohair Armani suit and the Corvette he got out of, holding the door for God, who stepped out, raising her skirt demurely, long leg by long leg, 5-inch stiletto by 5-inch stiletto. And I say demurely, purely out of the sense of worship instilled in me at that moment, raising her skirt what there was of it. And I can tell you God goes commando, which is perhaps fitting for a raiser of dry bones, a Jericho wall wrecker, a whirlwind in the desert and a flaming bush and all those other Sunday school miracles. So this is a Wednesday and 666 is not a good number. Per Mrs. Grundy in sensible J.C. Penney Navy blue two-piece wool, despite the burning hot summer of 1963 and no AC in the church basement, and Jackie Kennedy's pillbox hats and strapless gowns. And in a few months, as Pastor Schmidt eulogizes a slain hope for the future, I see Mrs. Grundy sob softly into her Lutheran hour handkerchief, even though she made much of the fact in the last election that she could never vote for a Democrat, especially a Catholic. And I wonder, as I watched the door to 666 close, where was God then? Where was God when Martin was shot, when Bobby was gunned down, when the Guard opened fire at Kent State, when First Platoon took a lunch break near a My Lai ditch full of dead villagers, when 57 school children in Columbine, Parkland, and Sandy Hook learned all there was to learn, when the Twin Towers came tumbling down, when McVeigh parked a rented Ryder truck in front of the Murrah building, when 900 zealots in Jonestown drank the Kool-Aid, when a cop kneeled on a black man's neck, hands tucked casually in trouser pockets like it was just any old day at work, when a soon-to-be ex-sitting president and Chapter 11 poster boy incited insurrection while spewing Kool-Aid of another flavor. And who is this guy today? Mr. Armani Corvette, And who were all those other guys alibiing up for God during all those other murders and 666s from Vietnam to DC to Guyana? And who dies today? Whose number is up? And will Mrs. Grundy weep for them? If such is permitted in the storybook heaven she showed us between the edges of gilt-leafed pages, where have all the miracles gone? How long does it take for a quickie with God? How many lives does it cost? Is it really, really worth it? Is this what we mean when we say God is love? I ponder this last as I enter the hospital, don N95, gown and gloves, face shield, enter the COVID ICU, a Mrs. Grundy in every bed, ventilators humming, and it's not a mighty fortress. Oh no, not Handel's Messiah, not even Gabriel's golden horn. It's the choir of no one praising nothing, of an immaculate misconception, and I bow my head and pray. Not to God. Oh no, I pray to Mr. Armani Corvette. You know that one. Pray he's getting his money's worth as I pull the plug on the nearest Mrs. Grundy.
Thank you,
Wow.
Robert. Okay. Rick, you're up, and Ro, you're on deck.
Okay. Another wonderful night, Tony. As always, thank you so much. I hadn't actually planned to read this one, but Karen and Taku's work was so positive and affirming and spiritual, and it started to create sort of a theme through so many of the open mic readers that I'm going to pull it out. I wrote this, actually, it is a list poem. Some of you have heard it. I wrote it on Thanksgiving Day, 2021, but it has been recently published in Harbinger Asylum, a print journal. And it is called The Land of Yup. Yup is an expression of stoic, hopeful determination. It is what you say when asked if you will go back into the burning building one more time. Without yup, we are left with the visage of Job, rending his garments in the ashes and asking why. Yup lets us fold the ash into the earth and plant again. I want to always live in the land of yup. Yup is more than an affirmation. Yup is certainty at 3 a.m. when facing the unknown. Yup wins the day. Yup means ready without resource. Yup accepts risk without relent. Yup resists gravity. Yup says our shoulders are ready to be set to the wheel. Yup pushes the rock uphill. Yup fights back. Yup conquers viruses. Yup discovers new solutions. Yup opens borders and feeds hungry children. Yup faces fire and flood. Yup knows no quit. Yup is greater than acceptance. Yup is not bound by outcomes. Yup overcomes obstacles. Yup makes new babies. Yup welcomes life itself. Yup is the infant's cry, I am here. Yup always listens. Yup builds bridges, not walls. Yup accepts every challenge and never gives up. Yup is stubborn hope. Yup is what we must say to a world that says no. Then an epigraph. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that you can do all things and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. From the book of Job. The poet hungers for yup, the acknowledgement that the words are not just well said, but also true. And again, Thanksgiving Day 2021. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful night.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you very, very much. All right, Ro, you're up. Patrice, you're on deck. Great job, everybody. Ro, you're not muted. Can you just read your poem?
Okay,
There we go.
thank you. Hi, all. Loving every minute of it. I just wanted to show off a little bit, Tony, if you don't mind. This came in yesterday's Newsday. Those of you who are from Long Island or the New York area would recognize this major daily. I mean, yeah, it's a daily. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, this is my 10th essay in Newsday. I feel kind of, I'm getting a kick out of it. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share that news. And now I'll have a short poem, very short poem. Wrote it about 4 days ago, I think, 5 days ago, maybe. Okay. It's called Decency. A screen, a canvas, The oversized transom window projects a speckless gray sky, slowly turning orange and silvery. First, just a few tinged weaves, like in a Persian rug. Finally, a full-blown burst of sunbeams. The landscape glitters. A violence-free birth of morning. Spring still a baby, as are the leaves and buds in the tree branches. Soon to be colorful blooms. Such a future denied to the human babies, subject to ruthless, bloodthirsty destroyers chasing supremacy. In their wake, dead bodies. Decent folk wringing their hands, shaking their heads, search for a different source of oil and gas. Through my transom window blooms a glorious day, energized by peaceful shifts, an epitome of decency. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So we have Patrice is up and Amber, you're on deck.
Hello. Okay, my poem is called Before Now. I could still be whole had my feathers not been ruffled and my wings trampled and broken in the unpredicted storm. Now I remain fixated in time, though not shaped the same as before. My back has rounded and fitted itself, sinking slowly into the curves that have beckoned my presence to the mouth of its streams and rivers for a rest. If it had not been for the rushing surge that raged and swallowed my voice, you would hear my story sung above a whisper, with the melody of a lark, a sign of the promise of spring. When day breaks, I'll still be here, lying elongated along the quiet shores of hope. These refreshing waters have become my sanctuary, a reservoir to refill empty vessels and refurbish what's left of souls, still wandering alone in between empty spaces while searching for new light.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, this is wonderful, wonderful evening we're having here. Thank you. All right, so Amber, you're up, and let's see who's next on my little list here. Amber, you're up, and Susan Olson, you're on deck.
Okay. To be apple blossom flurries. 'Tis the season. How poems happen. The breeze just right. The bumble and honeybees and hummingbirds busying their faces in star clusters of blossoms. Not one pauses or works for the other. The apple tree hums, buzzing activity, so throaty, it might forgive gravity and lift off into another dimension, soar like those frequent winged sweet harvesters. It is spring beyond snowstorms. In one breath, white flurries return by forgetting forecasts, releasing blossoms and bumbles, honeys and hummers. Like an elbowed snow globe, it is disturbed just enough to blizzard and burst. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber will be our feature next time. I think it's May 2nd. I forgot the exact date. And she's from New Hampshire now, not Maine. So, all right. So next we have Susan, you're up.
Okay.
And Catherine, you're on deck.
Do I need to do anything or just speak?
The floor is yours.
All right, there you are. Well, thank you, Taku, and thank you, Karen. And thank you especially, Karen, for telling me about this group, and all of the readers. I want to thank you too. This is a very short poem called My Fence. My fence doesn't really fence in anything. It is made to slip around to the back of to get to the outside water faucet, and the front gate is always open. But still, to me, it marks a stake in the ground. Outside you, inside me.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And welcome all. I think we have a few people here. This is your first time here, and we thank you very much for coming. And we hope that you'll continue to join us. We will have 2 more of these in May, and then in June, July, and August, we'll be going down to 1 a month because I run a weekly series, outdoor series. We call it the Summer Gazebo Readings. And for those of you who don't know anything about it, we're going into our 16th year. Before COVID, we were averaging, I think it's fair to say we were averaging around 100 people a night to come out with their lawn chairs. We offer free coffee and desserts. We sell sponsorships, and we send underprivileged kids to a summer camp. And so last year we were able to get back out on the green, and this year we're really looking forward to it. So lots of good stuff. So, but because we have this amazing community, there's 21 or 22 of us in here today, but we've had more, and the group is larger than this, and life happens. But we don't want to lose that. So we'll continue it once a month in June, July, and August, and then we'll come back to the twice a month again in September. So I think we have. So Sylvia, you're up, and Catherine, you're on deck. Did I do it right, or did I do it backwards? Who did I say was on deck? Who's up next?
Sylvia.
Sylvia. All right. Sorry about that. So Sylvia, you're up, and Catherine, you're on deck. And then I think I got everybody. So Sylvia, take it away.
Thanks for helping me out. I want to say thank you to Taku, because I also graced the cover of Sailor's Review. And I'm also friends with the editor now, who's also a poet. She's a lovely lady. Thank you, Taku, for that. My poem is tonight, Power of Prayer. Powerful people, survivors we are, surviving all by power of prayer, prayerfully powered by love, love of God, for God is love. Deep inside our bodies, minds, hearts, and souls, prayers bold. Righteous glory grace our minds with heartfelt gratitude. Praise Him. Feel true power of prayer. Prayer feels phenomenal. Prayer makes us strong. Prayer keeps us growing in righteous direction all day, all night long. Prayer aids us in adversity, gives us courage and confidence in humble ways. Beautiful blessings here today. Oh, many blessings here to stay. Prayer, power of prayer aids us through trauma, isolation, pain, violence, and anxieties. Power of prayer can make you. Without prayer, it will break you. Daily prayer is magical, brings miracles and wonders ever after, fills heavy hearts with comfort, fills lonely hearts with hope, fills sad hearts with pure delight, fills faith-filled hearts with sheer glee. Let us pray with focus of main and might, praying to forever do what is right, walking daily in God's holy light, never forgetting power of prayer. For Andre Bernardo, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Sylvia. Thank you so much. As always, appreciate very much your gracing us with your work. All right, Catherine, you're going to bring it home for us tonight. So the floor is all yours. Catherine? Catherine? Okay, as I said, Sylvia, thank you for bringing us home. You brought it home for us. It was a great way to end the evening. I want to thank you all very, very much for coming out. We really do appreciate it, and wish you all a wonderful holiday season. We have those of you who are celebrating Ramadan, Passover, and those who have just finished Easter. And we look forward very much to seeing you. Everybody stay safe. And as always, I'll leave the room open for you to socialize. Thank you. Good night.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
everyone.